Lap sync. 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. Welcome to week 3 of Science and Garbo. I'm your host, Vishnu.
And I'm Caroline.
She's also a host.
And I'm Ryan.
We didn't introduce you.
Whoa. Why do these guests always
jump the gun,
in
dude. They just jump the
and
gun.
be a part of this?
To be fair, you never give me a introduction of any sort or any guidelines.
We were literally getting to that.
We were getting to it, dude. Stop being in a rush.
Sorry.
Rewind.
All right.
We're in no rush.
Yeah.
We can keep you here all day.
This is our guest, Ryan Rybrad Rocketman. That's his name. He's our director of merch, and we literally flew him in today for episode 3. Welcome, dude.
Off the plane.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I've been a stout fan since day 1, which was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was up to 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Wow.
1 month.
Time flies.
How do you feel? How do you feel 1 month in?
It's been a ride. I've been part of a couple of different organizations, and just from the ground level, and this organization really appealed to me.
Dude,
on an emotional level.
Let me ask you this. When you were a fan watching week 1 wide-eyed on YouTube, did you ever think you'd make it on the show?
I honestly did not. You know, I was just looking at these 2 people and I thought to myself, these are winners.
We gotta get this guy on.
These are winners. So, and you know, when I made that shirt and posted it on the Facebook, that was my application.
Right. Right. So yeah, as I said before.
You can be on Science and Garbo if you
You just have to show
us.
initiative. Initiative.
Look, he posted 1 picture and he's here. Mere 4 weeks later.
The standards are really low.
The standards are that low. You can make it.
Someone even say the standards are garbage.
No.
Wow.
Garbo.
Whoa.
Doesn't even watch the show, people.
Oh, man.
Garbage? Are you using like
you
some
French?
word on
Are you
here?
French?
No, we speak American.
Alright, so Ryan, where would you like the podcast to be this week?
Well, you know, I would love it to be on a beach in Morocco.
Alright, Morocco. 3, 2, 1, Morocco. Alright, we're at Morocco. It looks lovely.
This is pretty
Beautiful.
nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah.
The-
Look at me. I'm not in Morocco. In Morocco. Not in. In. Also, I just realized my hat is green.
This
So my
Your
head,
hat's in Morocco.
my hat is probably in Morocco right now.
parts of your hat.
Parts
also.
of my hat.
Yeah, that's
Like
a very
every other
interesting hat.
stripe of your hat.
Exactly.
It's
It's
a bit
in
of
Morocco.
Interesting.
There we go. All right.
I like your hairstyle.
Dude,
This
I don't
is
know.
next
I don't know
level.
what my hair looks like because it's been under a
Don't
hat
worry
the whole
about
day.
it.
Yeah, I'm not
Don't
worried
worry
about
about
it.
it.
I'm not conscious. I don't.
You look amazing.
Oh, dude.
You look
He really
fun.
knows how to get me up in the morning. And you know, get me up. Yeah.
Woo! Do you guys need me to leave the room?
You know,
What are you gonna do?
I
Leave
always
Morocco?
wonder-
Are you gonna fly out?
Yeah, I would fly.
Yeah. You're not gonna fly
out
out.
of Morocco.
All right.
Up
So,
and out.
guys, you know, I know I'm the guest on the show here, but I really want to know, as your #1 fan.
Don't call yourself that.
Okay, fine. At the very least, as president of the fan club,
Right. Okay.
what made you guys decide to start the show? What was your initial just brain-gasm?
So the
Brain
brain-gasm. Yeah, I love that. I love
That's
that.
a good word.
So the brain-gasm that made us want to start the show was literally, we were working in the lab and we were like, hey, you want to start a podcast? And then she was
You're
like,
like,
yeah. All right. And then,
Legends.
yeah.
Legends.
We decided on Wednesday
That's how it
and by
works.
Friday we had a podcast.
Yeah.
That was it.
Wow.
We're doers.
We're doers.
You're doers.
Yeah.
You execute.
Yeah, exactly. Some people have vision and only vision, but we have vision and we execute.
Yeah.
And as you can tell by our close to 145 viewers,
Which may or may not be like 15 people.
from the combined 2 episodes that we've already posted, dude, we're rocketing up to fame right now.
So,
And that's why I brought in the Red Rocket Man, Ryan.
Exactly, we can switch it up.
Rock it up.
Yeah, rocking it up, you know? Get on trending.
On the up and up.
Exactly. So, dude, tell us about yourself. Like, how are you liking this place that you visited? How are you liking Morocco so far?
Morocco is beautiful. I was not expecting the wonderful presence of a beach.
Right.
You weren't expecting that?
I was not expecting
In
that
Morocco.
in Morocco. I was not expecting to end up in a location starting with the letter M. So that was a pleasant surprise, Jim.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
What were you looking forward to? A letter C?
really the letter D.
The letter D.
Yeah, that's
D.
what I was really
Oh,
happy
you'll
about.
get that later.
But no, Morocco is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, real pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I'm glad you can make it. You know, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Okay, so
First, some product placement.
Oh yeah, well, this
Breathing.
podcast is sponsored by UFO White Ale. I feel like sponsor us. I don't drink personally, so I have no idea what this tastes like
It's great.
what it is.
He's an unbiased opinion.
Exactly.
it tastes like little kids'
He's
dreams.
not biased, but whoa.
That's like severely
That's pretty
pedophilic. Like,
Bleep that out.
we're gonna bleep that out. Really, Jake,
know
I
what
can
I'm saying.
handle the truth.
we're not
You
gonna
won't
broadcast.
know what kind of pedophilic. Never
Tendencies.
mind. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
it's
it,
fine.
fans. We're gonna move on.
We're gonna move on,
Fans, come with us.
Yeah, we're sponsored by two other people
Alright.
on this podcast, but we'll get to them later. First product placement.
So yeah, I mean, something big happened. We talked about this on the podcast that happened the other week. The time change. We all sprung forward, and not in that sense.
Yeah.
The time sense.
The time
You
sense.
know, but we talked about how much we hate time.
So I actually have a way to make this more popular.
Go.
Go. Yeah. What do you have to say about it?
We should do it in the middle of the day. So, you're chilling at work, it's 2 p.m. Instead of it being 2 p.m., it's suddenly 3 p.m. Everyone will be on board.
Spring forward, spring back.
That's
I
an
get it.
easy change.
So do you want to still do the
Not
moving back at night so that you get an hour of sleep, and there's just a moving forward?
Yeah.
Let's do it during the
We
day.
deserve this. This is something that we need.
We could do that.
Dude, in a capitalist economy, we can't afford to lose an hour of work. All right?
Tell that to the Spanish.
China's already overtaking us.
China.
China, exactly.
China's ahead of us.
Our glorious leader has told us that China's already ahead of us. We're getting political on this podcast.
Oh, man. So,
Whoa.
We're getting
Whoa.
political.
what do you think about China getting rid of their presidential limit?
Term limit?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, so actually, this brings me on to a bigger point that I wanted to discuss. So, like, I feel like recently I've been very into like states' rights. You know, I might be turning Republican. I don't fucking know.
Whoa.
I'm pretty
Whoa.
conservative when it
It's
comes
dangerous.
to certain economic issues already. But then recently I've been like
I'll
thinking
hold you
about
back. I'll hold it back.
yeah. Recently I've been thinking about like states' rights and like I feel like states should have the rights to choose their own thing. So like I don't agree with it because it's not democratic. But if democratically people chose to keep the same leader forever, that'd be dope. But in China, I'm not cool with it.
Wow.
Wow. So, but we have a not a classic, but we have a good example in the U.S. where the popular vote was for the president to remain for a extended period of time. FDR.
FDR, yeah.
So he was great, good for the economy.
Yeah.
Was stern, did what he needed to do for
Yeah.
World War II.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, died. But,
Yeah.
get around that.
Didn't he make it to the third term?
Did he
do 4 terms?
I think-
got
yeah.
to the fourth one, but then
Fourth term.
unfortunately passed away before he could really start doing anything.
Yeah. So yeah, he made it there.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Probably because having 4
FD.
terms as a president just kills you.
Yeah.
It's too much.
No, it's stressful.
One body can't handle all that power.
Four terms is just the limit. You get past 3 and then you're dead.
Yeah.
Is that why it's in the
You know how
Constitution?
in
Everyone-
math, whenever there's like higher terms, just
You
cross
get rid
them
of
out,
it, you
just
cross them out.
Cross them
Yeah.
out. Same thing happened.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Engineering!
The science and Garbo coming
Key to the
together.
power of 4. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Fourth
term.
Fuck it. You know?
I don't deal with 4th terms in engineering.
Yeah, it's
Why
These
should I deal
physics
with
majors
that?
make fun of us.
Yeah, dude,
Dude,
because I'm right to the
approximations.
3rd percentile or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Dude, approximate.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you like China's move? You don't like it? What are you about?
I think.
What are you about? What are you about, Brian?
What am I about with this? Whew. Well, so China has every right to do what China thinks it should do, but quite frankly, the casting of the vote, if I remember correctly, was 2,500 something for, 2 people against and 1 abstain. My worry is for those 3 people who did not vote for this getting rid of the term limit, and that's part of the issue.
You done fucked up, son.
Yeah.
For all of our Chinese viewers.
For all of our millions of Chinese
Actually,
viewers.
you know, YouTube is blocked in China. So,
Exactly, so maybe
I guess
that's why.
None of our Chinese viewers. If it wasn't
Well,
blocked,
if it
we'd
wasn't
have a lot.
blocked before, Tillman Square, now it's blocked. So,
Should we get on some of the like Chinese social media? Do you guys think?
Oh yeah, dude.
For Science
WeChat.
Grow?
Yeah, let's
So
get on that.
get on
That's so
WeChat
true.
and get
Let's
on
get on
like
so you
Weibo? Yeah.
spent a good time in China.
I
How
spent some time.
how does one get on the social media there?
Dude,
You get on the phone,
just
and I
get
feel
on
like
it.
you open
You
up the app.
fucking download the app and like bam, you're on.
China's not the third fucking world, dude.
Whoa.
They're super
Racist.
powerful. So is China a third world country?
Okay, actually, I want to talk about this for a second. We actually don't use third world country anymore.
Is that on PC?
No, it's not PC. We use developing nation or developed nation.
What are you talking about? I've
This
literally
This
heard.
podcast is banned in Berkeley.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
use the word
It's like,
third world
dude,
country.
it's banned in Berkeley because I refer to you as a girl, dude.
Yeah, they hear it like
Yeah.
it's just like China, but
It's
like you know, anytime you hear like an inappropriate term,
Yeah, it's
like
just
you
like-
use like pronouns for someone without figuring it out first.
Yeah, dude.
Banned in Berkeley.
Yeah, dude. I've seen. Yeah, I know. This guy's a he. She's a she.
He's checked.
Yeah, I've checked.
Don't worry, verified.
This is. Look, you can get on the podcast, but you have to go through this first. All right. It's part of the process. There's a weapons check
Ryan's
at
like,
the door.
I was into it.
Hey, who said your job can't be a little fun, right? You gotta have fun in your job.
Exactly.
This is actually Ryan's full-time job is being a guest on Science with Garbo.
And other podcasts.
And other podcasts.
He's also in
And other podcasts.
And other podcasts. I unfortunately
Don't
am
name
under
names.
NDA and cannot talk about those other
Yeah,
podcasts
I
that I am
understand.
hypothetically on.
Podcasts are pretty intense with their security.
They are.
If you,
Actually, the
if
TV
you're not in
looks
the
like
know-
we're at Morocco right now.
we're fucking in Morocco.
It's
all
on TV.
right.
All I see is blue skies, blue ocean.
we're-
Oh, that's true.
Morocco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for these sides here.
The
don't worry about
sides. The
those.
sides didn't travel with us.
That's every
Don't worry about it.
yeah.
Every great painting, dude. This TV is really giving it to us.
Whoa.
Every great painting has borders,
Oh
Whoa.
man,
dude. How deep is that?
Whoa.
It ends somewhere.
that's a little too deep for
It's a
me.
little too deep?
A little too deep.
Alright, let's drag it back. Let's drag it back.
Bring it
I
back.
think we're even getting a little bit more on not really the sciencey part, but the serious part of this.
The
A little
part.
serious.
We need to go back to our roots, as I remember you eloquently said in the first show.
I think you're too eloquent, Ryan. I think this is the problem.
which is that we need to go back to our garbage.
All right, let's do it,
Our garbage. All right.
dude. All right, dude. Well, hold on. Let me go through this thing that happened to me like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I woke up, right?
Mhm.
Like, before I woke up, I was sleeping and I was dreaming, right? And like, I was dreaming about like music, and it's not music that I've ever heard before, but it was just music that was playing, and they were singing, and like, it was the perfect, like, all the notes were in the right place. It was like if frickin' John Lennon and like some, like BB King had a baby, and that baby was like making music, right? It was like awesome fucking music. And then like, I woke up, I tried to go to the guitar, I tried to get like at least one note, nothing, right? Like absolutely nothing. So it got me wondering, dude, like if I dreamt about it, that means it's in my head, right? Like there's no other place dreams come from. So like, there's like, I know how to make like good music in my head, but I can't access it. So, would you pay to access it? If someone came to you and said, pay me $20,000, I'll access, like, you'll be able to access your brain.
Okay, now what does this mean exactly? Like access, like you would be able to now like produce this music?
Like, I would be able to now make this music. What do you guys
Just
think?
the
What do you guys
music,
think
or
about
like access like all of the things.
So think about it as like a subscription plan.
the subscription.
What if the guy came to you and said, for $20,000 you get our vanilla version,
Kill me now.
but for $40,000 you get the deluxe plus version, where you get music and math or something like that.
So it's interesting. There's an AI right now that's out there that will read your thoughts and come up with images of. It's not painting. It's just like I don't know, images
Right.
of like what you're thinking.
Right?
Wait,
Are you fucking
hold on,
serious?
hold on.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm not gonna pay some AI to tell me what I'm already thinking. You know, I actually have this special ability where I can read my own mind.
I am going to legally make
amazing.
sure that AI cannot make images of what I am thinking.
Whoa.
Whoa, what are you thinking?
Yeah, wait. So that's That's what they're making money is they're like, you gotta now pay us to not read your mind and make the pictures of it go all over.
Can you
the
imagine
internet.
your venture capital meeting? Like, all right, guys, listen. You can either give me a $10 million like Series A, or I'm gonna have this AI
read your fucking
life.
I'm gonna have it read your fucking mind and
Dude, that's like
show up all the Gordon Gekko fucking weird ass like child pornography that you're watching.
Just like your daytime like
daytime
fantasies.
thoughts. Yeah.
Like you're just daydreaming about like whatever, some child porn or some fucking shit. Like I don't know.
Look, dude, I just think about airplanes. Like, that's like literally all I think about all day.
Yeah, sure.
Fucking
Airplanes. Fucking some airplanes, huh? That's what you're thinking about.
Man,
is that a sexual position? Fucking freak.
The airplane.
Ryan's like, oh, sounds hot. But
oh my god.
that's like Black Mirror, you know?
Dude,
I haven't started watching that show, and I need to.
I
great
watched
show.
some of it.
Great show.
It's good.
Yeah, I watched, like, a
I
couple
started
episodes.
watching.
Yeah.
Dude, there's one episode where like they can like rewind what they've seen.
Yeah,
Like everything
dude,
you've
that
seen.
is
That's
so
what it makes
fucked
me
up.
think of. That's it's fun.
Dude, but yeah, going back to it, would you pay to get different parts of your mind unlocked, or would you leave yourself the way that you were?
Unlocked.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, isn't kind of what's that? It's not Limidex.
Limitless?
Limitless.
The movie?
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
You know, for a lot less than $20,000, you can get some acid. It's the same thing.
Are you speaking from experience?
Experience, yeah.
This is what you need to do to get into one of the
Dude.
top institutions in the world.
Acid.
We're going into the kids' advice
for
section.
kids, for whatever reason, we think that some of the viewers watching this podcast are kids who want to get into MIT.
What?
Let's just
What?
bleep that out.
Yeah. You don't know where we are.
Want to get into some school.
Some school.
Like
Some
top,
school in Morocco.
Exactly.
Some top universities.
Top universities in Morocco.
Um,
Look that Wikipedia that. Exactly.
We just assume that, and they need some advice from us.
Yeah. So advice point one: do acid, kids, because it opens up your mind.
Have you?
That
really
shit up.
What's that show? Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on HBO.
I think so.
Okay, so when he comes up with the name for Piper,
Pied Piper.
Pied Piper,
Yeah.
is he like went out into the desert and just did a bunch of acid and was like, "Hey guys, I got the name." That's
I feel like that's how everything has happened.
Dude,
like,
what about
successfully.
like
ever.
famous musicians? We all know that they didn't
Totally
leave.
all on drugs.
Oh,
all of
we-
the drugs.
that's like the industry standard.
That's you gotta do drugs to be good at
Famous
music,
Yeah.
literature.
right?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever read fucking like The Sound and the Fury? Definitely on all kinds of drugs to write that shit. Like, it's just like nonsense for like 600 pages or something.
Honestly, I think they have a market advantage over me as someone who does not do drugs.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
it's
so
hard.
here's my question then: should you? This actually brings me to another broad point,
Yeah.
right? So caffeine, right? What is it? It's a drug,
It's a drug.
right? You drink
Like a
it, you get
choice.
more active, right? Cocaine, just a slightly harder version of that drug. I have no idea. I'm just saying, from what I've read, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, should we just make all drugs like legal and then just offer like good places to use it?
You know,
In all seriousness, yes, that's exactly what we should do, and
Yeah.
it's been studied, it's been tried and tested in other countries, and the number of victims in the sense of people dying because
From
they
like
can't control-
ODs and shit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like using needles that are like dirty.
Yeah, dude. We talked about that in the last podcast. If you missed it, this guy used to go around stabbing people with AIDS. So we'll
Not
watch,
me, just
watch
some guy.
episode 2.
You're pointing
it
at
was
me.
not him.
Not me.
As
Not
far
him.
as we know, but we're not detectives.
Yeah,
I'm not a fucking detective.
Not this
Okay,
guy. This person
This
did not do
one.
it. Yeah,
Not the one.
not the person.
But yeah, watch that episode.
Watch the episode 2.
Pretty good.
Episode 2. All right, back to what you were saying.
What are you saying?
Yeah, he was saying that it's been studied in many countries.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Right.
it's actually
So
worked out.
yeah, and I would say that it's, I mean, the U.S. is losing, or has lost, really, the war on drugs. NPR had an excellent section on how the war on drugs is like a 4-year-old story. Of course, we lost it, and
You know that's one of our competitors.
NPR. Oh, you're right.
Dude, bleep. I'll bleep that out. I'll bleep out. Someone said.
Wait. So you know what?
Time out. Go for it.
I want to talk about this for a second. I had a
Just
so
kidding, we love you, NPR.
I love
Great
NPR.
stuff.
I think NPR is
Okay.
great. I love the stories. I love the music. I love everything. That
Okay,
comes
this is
from it.
not a fucking ad for
NPR. They aren't even sponsoring us, dude.
They're
What are
not
you
gonna
doing?
sponsor. Okay,
But-
continue. We
but-
get it. You
I
really
had
have
a
crush.
good friend of mine tell me that because I get a lot of my news from NPR, that I could be like extreme liberal, and I'm not woke enough to. And the way to do that is to start watching like Fox News or like other things.
Breitbart, dude. That's where you get all your news.
Breitbart.
Breitbart.
Yeah.
That's where you get all your
I mean,
news.
they tell
Dude,
the truth. Like
Steve
women
Bannon was in the White House and he
can't do
controls
science.
Breitbart News. Like, where else are you gonna get your news from?
You
Breitbart
know,
News.
That's
Don't sponsor us. We don't fucking want your shit, dude.
we don't want it.
Yeah. We don't want your garbage. Yours is real. We're Garbo. You're real garbage.
You're real garbage.
Alright.
Jesus.
Woo!
But
Go for it.
Burn.
But my point though is that is it necessary to go into if there's a garbage scale, like Fox News is pretty far right on the garbage scale, where right is 0,
Right.
left is and that's not a pun.
Ha!
Ha.
He's bringing the humor.
Wait, what?
Left or right?
No, don't.
Okay.
Just drink. Just drink.
That's what I do best.
But like,
Continue.
I honestly feel if there's like an objective scale of journalism, NPR scores much higher than like those other news sources, so it doesn't make sense to watch shit like that.
Also, I
Yeah.
thought being woke and being liberal was the same thing.
No.
Not the same?
No, it's not the same at all. So here's my take on it. Like, I do agree to a certain extent. I feel like you should watch and take in news that has a lot of journalistic integrity, like that has a good record of like checking on its sources and things like that. But I do think that there is some value to looking at news from multiple sources that have different taints to them, right? Because like if you think about it, even in our country, like one of the highest offices in the land, which is the Supreme Court, like even they have some sort of left or right leaning, and they can interpret the same sort of facts in two different ways. And I feel like there's some value to like having like that perspective. Like for example, like with guns and stuff, like I never used to see the other side of the perspective. I see this side of the perspective now after like reading more about guns from not NPR and like other
No, that's fair.
other right wing or not right like total right wing, but like people who like guns, right? Like yeah, I see the point. Like yeah. So yeah, that's my take on it in terms of like what you keep, like where you should take your news.
But
again, kids.
as a capitalist,
Yeah.
there is, as a capitalist, news in this country is oriented for profit.
Oh yeah. Dude.
And because of that setup,
Right.
it is it doesn't allow news to just provide news. They're always, they exist.
Right.
They have a fiduciary responsibility.
Fiduciary.
Whoa!
Responsibility
SAT word, kids. Is it a real word?
It has a real
Sorry,
word.
continue.
To provide to their stakeholders.
Yeah.
And like
Totally.
that doesn't.
So
that's not good for the American people.
So there has almost, I think since the time that like 24/7 cable news became a thing, since then I think.
Oh, that's from Anchorman, right?
What? Yeah, totally. It is. Since then, I feel like news has become more about the business than about informing society. Like the government does give access to airways to companies, right? Like it's based on government infrastructure. So maybe the government should pass a law saying that I don't know, during 1 hour of programming, there's no ads, there's no nothing. You just gotta do the job.
Just gotta do the job.
You gotta do the job. There's no paid slots. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then people can just tune in for that 1 hour if they feel like it.
If you want the real news, you
If you want from like 5 to 6 a.m. at the most inconvenient time possible.
Oh man.
So yeah, like, dude, it's rough, right? But that's why there's public broadcasters. That's why there's like shit like PBS and stuff like that give you news still. NPR.
Good stuff.
Isn't that government run?
Yeah.
It's nationally funded.
It's
right?
nationally funded, but
Yeah.
the criticism that it gets is that it leans very far right.
Far right.
Yeah.
Far right.
Sorry, excuse me, far left.
Far left.
Okay.
He doesn't know
Yeah,
his
yeah.
left from his right.
No, I don't. I guess not. Far left, and like going back and like reading the stories after hearing that, like I can see that. And
Yeah.
the problem with it is that it's not about left or right. It's about, do people feel that this news organization represents their interests and empathizes with them?
Yeah, dude, totally. Like if someone said shit that I agree with, I'd probably listen to them more.
Yeah.
And shit that I disagreed with.
Yeah.
I think that's like a fundamental human bias.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Fucking. Yeah, just go ahead, solve that for your next. I know people will fund that fucking idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbiased news. All right, so back to fucking modifying yourself. Okay, so you said that you would do it if you're like if you were offered it. Let's say you had a kid, and now that was an option for your kid.
Okay.
Before your kid's born, they'll be like, listen, bruh, you got options for $100K
Before the kid is born, right?
before the kid's born.
Okay.
I feel like this is like not that far off.
Yeah, I don't think it's that far off at all. I feel like next like 60, 70 years, we'll be there.
I would say much sooner.
Much sooner than
Much
that?
sooner,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they're going to be like, all right, you pay me $100,000, 0% chance of any birth defects, and your kid is going to be Michael Jordan and like freaking Tiger Woods and Albert Einstein all at once.
All at once. Wait, what does Tiger Woods have that Michael Jordan doesn't?
Golf
Golf.
skills.
We know that's what you're really after.
And also a lot of infidelity. Apparently. Allegedly.
A playa, as
Allegedly.
they say.
Allegedly. Don't want to lose any Tiger Woods fans. Anyway.
Are there any Tiger Woods fans out there still?
Dude.
Like, it's all about that Phil Mickelson action.
Oh, really? Okay, you know your golf. I don't. But back to the question.
He's a
Would you do it?
golf guy.
Would you get your fucking kid like genetically modified, dude?
Dude, 100% for me, yeah.
100%?
100%.
So, 100% in the sense that from a like get rid of disease standpoint.
Right.
Um,
But what if normal human intelligence becomes a disease, dude? Whoa! We're going there.
Dude, this episode is
a
like,
little heavy.
it's pretty
Yeah,
heavy.
a little heavy.
getting
So
heavy.
Intense.
Dude, it's the weather, dude. This Moroccan weather's really
really pushing it. So
Oh, yeah.
here's this sounds like the Cold War to me.
What?
This sounds like the Cold
Dude,
War.
I
Let me
totally
explain
am.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
totally with you.
No, I'm
Just
not.
explain
I'm not
it.
with you. What's the Cold
The
War?
Cold War analogy here is that as a parent, you want your child to succeed. I'm not a
Right.
parent,
Right.
but I presume that's
Allegedly.
what parents want. Allegedly, parents want their children to succeed.
No, allegedly
Good,
he's
that's
not a
good.
parent.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Dude, I hope.
But if you're not doing, and like when you have a kid right now, if you're not doing everything you can to have that kid, be successful, you
You're
feel
fucking
bad as
bad parent, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
So you do it.
now if you have this opportunity to like, get your kid to a place where not only is he smart, but he's smart without having to go through all the shit that I have to go through, which is work hard.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't work hard.
Don't want to do that, but it's almost like if you don't take advantage of that,
Yeah.
other parents will, and then your kid is then disenfranchised,
Yeah, dude.
and that's
So
a Cold War.
here's my question. Now, should this be government subsidized?
So let's push that even further. Should a child rearing not be taken care of by families? Should it be done just by the government?
Government?
Dude, in 1985 shit. Like,
I think that's 1984, right?
84. She was adding the 5 because
Because we're so advanced.
So advanced.
So
It's a
advanced
plus
that we,
one.
yeah.
I totally
yeah.
thought it was 1985.
No, it's 84.
That's the
Clearly,
song. 1985.
Yeah, please continue. Musical guest, Ryan Rybred.
so we'll have a
Rockman.
freestyle section later where you'll freestyle.
That'll
Okay.
be the second half of the podcast.
Second half of the
Stay tuned.
podcast.
My
And
name is
you know
Ryan.
when to.
It's not spelled like lion. That's all I got.
Whoa.
Alright, we just
Excellent.
lost all our viewers. Let's work on getting them back.
We're gonna have to really step it up.
Never do that again in your life. And to
I'm
borrow
sorry.
a popular American catchphrase, may God have mercy on your soul.
Popular American catchphrase.
Another popular American catchphrase that I didn't realize, like I didn't know what it meant until somebody from the South told me this. They're from Alabama actually, and what it was that
Deep South.
The Deep South was the deep fried South, as I like to call it. Is
Dude, we're losing our fucking.
I don't fucking know what he's doing, dude.
is oh bless him, because apparently that's like a negative thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's a negative thing?
It's a negative thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like sarcastic. Oh, bless him.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, but they don't say it sarcastically. They just say it, and you're like, oh, that's me.
He's a little hard of learning. Oh, bless him.
Bless him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that. Yeah, I've definitely heard that before, but I didn't I wouldn't
It's
like when someone said, "Oh,
calling
bless
somebody
you"
an
to me.
idiot
Yeah, dude.
in front of their face, and they don't even know.
It's worse because when you call somebody an idiot, you're calling them an idiot. It's like straightforward. But this way, it's like, oh, she's blessing me. No, fuck you.
No.
So if you're traveling to the south,
So subtle.
yeah, watch the subtlety.
Be careful.
Watch
I really
for
wish
gators.
You'd be careful for.
Yeah, you gotta watch for gators.
And deep fried okra. That's
fried okra.
bullshit.
I don't know.
Whoa,
Dude.
tell us more about that.
Yeah, dude,
let's
why do you
open
hate
that up.
Do you know what
Crack that
okra
open.
tastes like? It's like slimy, greasy, bitter.
Dude, I love okra. What are you talking about, dude? Okra tastes great.
Okra is
All right, let's fight.
objectively
All right.
the worst
we're gonna
vegetable.
let's have a battle. It's gonna be a new segment on
Making
the
it up.
Battle of
podcast.
the vegetables.
Battle of the
The
Vegetables
Battle of the Vegetables, brought to you week 3.
by Angry Orchard. Angry Orchard hard cider.
Sponsored
Again,
Battle of
don't know how this tastes, but I assume there's an apple. There's like an easy apple taste to it.
Pretty
It's not
easy.
very sweet, apparently. It's gluten free for you celiac people or all you fucking hippies. There's 4.2% alcohol.
Celiacs and the fucking hippies.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the
Yeah,
fucking hippies.
yeah.
It's the majority of our fan base, actually.
Exactly. That's true.
The celiacs and the fucking hippies.
Oh, man.
We
Sorry,
love you all.
Liz. Sorry.
We really do.
Yeah, but it's Angry Orchard. Wait.
Anyways, yeah.
Angry
so
Orchard.
okra.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't even know what an okra is, to be quite honest.
In India, it's called lady's finger. You know that?
That's
It's
you're-
literally called lady's
No
finger.
You're supposed
way.
to
It's
eat
called
lady's finger.
Yeah, you eat lady's
That's
finger.
pretty weird.
It's called lady's finger. Like
Where does that come from?
From British fucking people, probably.
Look at what oppression has done.
Yeah, exactly. They're calling okra lady's finger.
I feel like that's sexist, right?
That's definitely such.
Dude,
Wait,
I
why
just-
is
I'm
it?
just
Wait,
going-
wait, I'm curious. Why is that sexist?
No, I don't know. It just
It's
has something to do with
definitely
women,
racist,
so
at
I'm like,
least.
I'm in.
Definitely racist.
Sexist.
It's definitely racist.
Jump on that.
I don't
Let's
know
just
if it's
like
sexist.
use words that end with ist to
Ist.
describe things.
Those are my favorite.
It's probably okra is probably a fascist vegetable. Right?
Wow.
Do you
Dude, it
think
might be the most fascist vegetable
Vegetable?
Probably loved okra.
that I've heard of.
you know who it isn't? Stephen Hawking.
Wait, guys! Oh my god!
Too
We
soon.
need to talk about
We
this.
probably do.
So
In that he may have been a vegetable. He wasn't,
might-
dude. He wasn't. He was
he was
one
kind
of
of
the
a
finest.
vegetable.
He was the
He
finest
was
thinkers of our
Dude,
time.
he's so smart.
He was like the
Smarter than
smartest-
any of us will ever be.
He's a very smart vegetable.
Dude, he's like the
It's not a
smartest
vegetable. Dude.
eggplant you've ever seen. Imagine an
I love
eggplant
eggplant.
that
okay?
was way
Leave
better than
eggplant
you
out
at
of
math and
this.
physics and science, that also had a face and was also
So like
human.
an actual eggplant.
And then also human.
Also
and
funnier than you.
also funnier than you. That was Stephen Hawking. That'd
Stephen
be awesome,
Hawking.
dude.
Oh my gosh.
Do you
So,
feel bad?
I do feel bad, and let me
Feel
tell
bad.
you why I feel bad.
Wow.
When I
Tell us, Ryan.
So a brief history of
Time?
Time.
I thought you were going to say a brief history of Ryan.
A brief history of Ryan. No.
It's
Brief
not
history
that.
of Time by Stephen Hawking
Mm.
was written by him, and mind you, this is not a person who can put together thoughts in a way that can be written down in like 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It
takes
takes
a
a
while.
really long time.
Yeah, dude.
Imagine the effort, the constant drive he has to have to complete that book.
Dude,
Every day is a battle.
totally.
That's respect.
Dude, this guy is like the Kobe of science, dude.
He's the Kobe of science.
He's the Kobe of science.
Kobe of science. I
He's got-
do know who that person is.
Yeah, he's got the Mamba mentality. That's what they call it. That's what the kids call it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
He gets up every day, wants to better himself.
Did.
Did.
What?
He used to.
Yeah.
He's not getting up anymore.
Did you guys watch the Stephen Hawking movie?
The
What's
history of everything?
No, is that
Theory of everything.
Theory
of Everything.
No, I didn't see that. I
I've
watched
seen
it.
it.
though.
I haven't seen it either. I really do.
Great job bringing it up.
I was hoping
It's
you
like
guys
a,
did.
it's like a throw. Oh, no one got that.
Yeah,
no one got that.
no one did. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's a thing.
But that's
yeah,
life,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's life.
You just toss it up and hope somebody catches your
What
shit.
does Wayne Gretzky say? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You don't take, yeah.
Whoa.
Wayne Gretzky, is he alive?
inspiration, man.
I don't
Maybe.
know.
I think he's alive.
I don't even know. Who
Check
he
if
is.
he's alive and check if we killed Wayne Gretzky.
Put it in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, put it in the comments. Is Wayne Gretzky alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, leave us a comment.
Yeah, at Science and We're not on Twitter.
Dude,
We're not on Twitter.
We're on Twitter now.
We're on Twitter now. At
Okay,
Science
Did you
guys,
see this?
I have an admission.
What?
I don't use Twitter. Do you think Twitter is
Did
silly?
anyone ask
Dude,
you?
who
Ryan?
uses Twitter, dude? I've never used Twitter. Like, the only time I used Twitter was, like, when I was trying to find someone else on Twitter.
Okay, I totally relate to that because that is exactly the reason why I use Twitter at that one moment in time.
I, like, have never used Twitter. Who uses Twitter? Why are you tweeting? How is this a
Okay,
billion-dollar business?
I will tell you why.
I mean, they are
Twitter-
losing a lot of money.
They are
have
losing
like
a lot of
no
money.
more employees left.
Are you kidding?
No, they have
I
employees,
mean, like,
but
They have, like, a data center somewhere, probably.
I don't think they're not profitable.
Who
is anything
profitable?
profitable?
Nothing's profitable anymore, guys. Uber, not profitable.
No, yeah. Okay, you know what? It's ridiculous. They were like raising their G round. Like, how much like schmack do you need to like just?
Dude, you
say?
gotta throw more fuel on the fire.
Just
There's more!
I know.
More!
It's gonna go out.
like that's like, you know, like, oh, we're raising a Series A. Like you're raising money the first time. You're raising money the second time. You're raising money the third time. Okay, fine. Raising money the seventh time, like
The 17th time or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck?
get your shit together. Like,
Bro.
Dude, there's no shit to get together.
what do you guys think of Theranos?
Oh, dude.
yeah.
Dude, that was top notch. Because, you know, one of the projects that I am working on relates to diagnostics.
Yeah.
Really?
I literally read that. I was like, isn't that sort of what Vishnu's project is?
Exactly. One of the projects we are working on is related to diagnostics.
Explain to
And
me part 4. What's going on?
oh, yeah. So what do you mean? Like, what we're doing?
Yeah, so like,
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is also look at, like, a single drop of blood, but look at kind of like the interaction of the drug with surfaces. So try to, like, change different surface properties, try to change, like, different surface chemistries of the surface that we put on there, and see different patterns. So, kids, for your reading this week, look up coffee ring effect,
copyright effect.
right?
That'll be a quiz.
There'll be a quiz next week, coffee ring effect.
Oh man.
So if you look that up, there's a phenomenon.
Not only do we provide garbage content, we quiz you on it.
So basically, if you dry a drop of blood on a surface, it leaves behind a pattern. And if you have certain diseases, this pattern can change.
Really?
Yeah, and this thing is really sensitive to environmental conditions and what the surface is like. So what we're doing is kind of like eliminating all of that. So that's what the project is about.
And just out of curiosity, does it like change like the density of the blood, or is it like when?
No. It's not even, like, we don't want to do anything to the blood.
Okay.
So we want to try to do things not to the blood and still have it be very consistent. But yeah, there's a lot of variability issues, blah, 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 right? Anyway, so I saw this thing, I read the article, so I was only, like, I'd never read into it in detail. I was just like, you know, reading a headline here and there about how Theranos raised a bunch of money, and then how they got into trouble in Arizona, and like how they were like giving away money and things like that. And then, like, I think like a couple of days ago, I read an article about how they're going to be charged for massive fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all I read was the fraud.
Dude,
thing.
which makes complete fucking sense, and I finally am happy that, like, this is the exact same thing. There was like a juicing company in San Francisco. I don't know what they were fucking called, but they were the most
I heard about the
ridiculous
juice-
fucking company.
Yeah.
They sold like a super expensive juicer that
Juicer and they were like,
basically,
the bag
you could
can't break.
squeeze the pouches
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
hand. and
Yeah.
did
It
the
was a
exact
beautiful
same thing.
marvel of engineering, but classic issue with a startup. They didn't do any customer research or like
Yeah.
actually getting their product out to market and figuring out if this is going to work or not.
Yeah, and they raised some obscene amount of money.
Yeah. So
So, like, yeah, going back to Theranos, I feel like, bro, if you're lying to people to get them to fund your startup,
Don't do that.
bad motherfucker.
So there's a
Don't
lot
lie.
of points to touch on here, but
Yeah.
I do actually want to make like a serious point. I don't know if there's anyone actually watching this, but like I feel like this is a platform to do so.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Holmes like was a hero. Like they were considering her the next
Yeah,
Steve
dude.
Jobs.
She was like the fastest growing billionaire. She was
Yeah.
like doing commencement speeches.
Yeah, she was. It was
Yeah,
insane.
dude.
And like for what she was saying, like she deserved it. But like a lot of the attitude that went behind that propagates this like really bad and negative like attitude towards entrepreneurship and science and whatnot. It's not about the the win. It's about the good science, the good effect that you're going to have on society with your product.
Yeah.
And venture capital as a community and entrepreneurs as a community have to come together and understand that it's not always about winning, because if you always focus on that, you're going to make these like conditions where people only like try to focus on that.
I feel like it shouldn't be like a game. Like I feel right now it's too much like a game, and that people think that they can game the system and get away with it. And I'm sure that people do, but like, not cool, bro.
No, yeah.
Not cool.
I'm just confused. How did she get away with it for so long? Like,
'Cause
wouldn't somebody at some point realize that it didn't work?
So there were scientists who were like, we want this peer reviewed, and she was like noticeably uncomfortable during those conversations, and like she just kept extending the time in which you had to deliver results.
Mm-hmm.
It was all politics.
Get fucked, bruv.
Yeah, and
that's
like,
pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy, and like it's also crazy, like particularly for the medical devices and like pharmaceutical startup like space.
Yeah.
If you don't have a clinician as a startup founder, you have no business trying to save people's lives as a business.
Yeah, for sure. Get the fuck out there, man. Is what Brian has to say to you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Brian's fired up about this.
yeah, dude, he's real fired up about Theranos, apparently, as I drop my phone
Oh, no.
and my recording.
No.
But that's fine, I'm loud enough to get picked up by the camera anyway.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I'm the loudest one here, so it's all
La,
good.
la, la, la. Oof. Alright, I think we need to switch gears a little bit.
Yeah, dude, let's switch gears.
Yeah.
Go
Put
for
it
it.
into,
Do you have an unpopular opinion for this week?
Ooh.
Do you have an unpopular opinion, Ryan?
Do I have an unpopular opinion? I feel like all my opinions are unpopular.
Go for it.
Oh.
Hit us up with one.
Whoa.
Hit us up with an unpopular opinion.
Actually, I take that back. I'm such a people pleaser. Guys, this is a problem. All my opinions are accepted. In fact, I look
Whoa,
up
you just
accepted
pivoted.
opinions. I just pivoted here.
Wow,
Dude.
I like the startup language that's coming out of this podcast. Like,
Nah,
this
this
is
is
pretty
awesome.
great. I feel very comfortable in
Yeah,
this
dude.
environment.
Pivoting,
I'm so confident.
entrepreneurship,
Woo!
Series G.
Dude, just like
Uber.
feed me these buzzwords.
Dude, feed
Yeah,
it.
this is literally just like
Just
buzzword,
mainline these
buzzword.
buzzwords into fucking Ryan, and he's good.
Oh my gosh. Alright, what's an unpopular opinion I have?
Dude.
How about this for an unpopular opinion?
What's that?
If, right, democracy isn't great, dude. That's an unpopular opinion.
I feel
Democracy
like it's
isn't
almost a popular opinion at this point.
democracy isn't great, but it's a lot better than all the other shit out there.
Totally. But I feel like the way the trajectory of our democracy right now, not good.
But I would also say that we're not a democracy.
We're not a democracy.
No, we're an
Oligarchy.
we're an oligarchy.
Are we
In
all
which-
Oh, is that how Americans say it? Oligarchy? For you Indian people trying to emulate an American accent like I am. Oligarchy. Try to spell that, you fucking spelling bee nerds. Dude, here's a real unpopular opinion. Why the fuck is the spelling bee on ESPN? What the fuck, dude?
I did not know that.
Dude,
Wow.
the spelling bee is on ESPN. No, it's not a fucking sport.
Follow up unpopular opinion, more entertaining than most of the things that are on ESPN. Woo!
Whoa! Get fucked, ESPN. Dude, spelling bees should be abolished, dude. I feel like spelling bees are ridiculous. They're useless. They don't teach you anything that's like necessary.
It's a useless skill.
It's a useless
Oh
skill.
yeah. Maybe unpopular opinion. Knowing how to spell things
Is a useless
pretty
skill.
Useless fucking
I
skill.
100% agree with that.
Yeah, dude. Can we like
part of
fucking
Microsoft Word?
Yeah, let's
generation?
stack bottles, and now that's a fucking useful
Yeah.
skill. Yeah, let's get into that,
Oh,
right?
man.
Fucking stop, dude. And it's almost always Indian kids that win, dude. Indian parents, stop forcing us to fucking do this. All right,
We've had
Did your
enough of
parents
your
ever make you
shit.
spell?
No.
dude. No, but they made us do a lot more shit for sure. Singing
should we
competitions.
dive in. Did you do singing competitions?
I did singing competition.
Can you sing?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
It's just everyone.
Didn't
has
work
to.
out.
Yeah,
What
didn't
other
work out.
competitions do you do?
Dude, I had like religious prayer competitions.
Oh man.
Whoa.
I've done that.
You've done that, yeah.
I like making religion into a competition. That's
Exactly.
my favorite thing I've heard. Dude, I'm fucking better at religion
Yeah,
than you
dude,
are.
but Like some of the stuff I really enjoyed. I don't want to make my parents to seem like they're like horrible or anything. Like it was like a lot of fun to do all of this stuff. But singing competition, the religious recitation, arts, like I had to draw and fucking paint and shit. Like
that's good.
That was another competition. Handwriting competitions.
Ooh, I like that. That's like
I
a lot
like
more
you have, like,
spelling competitions.
Yeah, dude.
Every part of human life. How do we turn it into a competition?
Exactly.
How do we make that?
And how do we get a certificate out of this? We need a certificate and a medal. Alright? Otherwise, it's useless.
Participation trophy?
No, get that shit out of
No,
here.
it's like,
dude.
you gotta win them?
Yeah.
So the only thing I think my dad ever like pushed me for, and I was actually pretty glad that I did, was golf. Golf. Yeah.
Interesting.
And
what a fucking
a
rich
Tiger
person.
Woods wannabe.
Tiger Woods yeah, exactly. He has a skin tone. Yeah.
Dude, you know?
But other than that,
Don't be as what's the word?
Promiscuous.
Yeah, promiscuous.
promiscuous. Oh,
That's
yeah.
not the word.
Try not to.
I was about to say don't be as infidel as
Infidel. Don't get
I feel like,
infidel.
you know, celebrities get into this stupid shit. Like, don't cheat. Like,
yeah, bro.
why is that so fucking hard? Like, you have like a great life.
You have a great life, you have a bomb life. Why are you cheating?
Whoa! Amen.
Why?
We need to stop the podcast here, guys. I'm sorry, but we just peaked. That was
It's
it.
okay. No, this is what we do: is we peak and then we let it keep going so we can go back down.
Exactly.
We don't want to end.
We don't wanna
too
end
high.
on a
We're
high.
hoping that our next peak will be even higher.
Exactly.
And it will.
It will
but
be
we
at some
gotta come
point.
back
We gotta
down.
come back down.
Gotcha.
It's like we're like on a roller coaster.
Uh-huh.
You gotta
Go down to go up.
go down to
Exactly.
totally,
Yeah,
dude.
totally.
Dude.
Anyway, golf.
Golf.
Yeah. So do you know all your clubs? Is that like a
fucking,
fundamental?
yeah, I do.
Is that a fundamental
It's like,
requirement?
do you know all
of
your
golf?
numbers?
It's asking a baseball player, do you know what a bat is?
See, there's one bat in baseball. If there was 12 bats,
I think that's what
feel
you're
like
right. No,
I feel like that would be a very
dude,
valid
I feel
question.
like you're wrong
Okay.
because there's like definitely more than one bat.
There's no way there's more than
you're
one bat.
showing your
Dude, cricket has one bat. There's no multiple bats.
There's no goal.
Alright.
When I was in high school, and even a little before, what I would do is my dad would drop me off in the morning.
Yeah.
At
the golf
range.
range.
At the golf range. I had this membership where I could get unlimited tokens and play on the weekdays for free.
Okay.
And-
So you were like slumming it with all the fucking old white chicks and the old white guys.
Yeah.
Like literally just like getting
I'm
down and
pretty sure
dirty.
it's just like old white men.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
Old white man just like
And
you
Ryan.
and old white when
And like
As well as little
the
kids.
problem
Little
is
kid.
for high school competitions you can't take the cart, so they would always get mad at me because they would be in the cart and I
Wait,
would
you
be,
can't take the cart?
you can't take the cart, you can't drive the cart.
So is it like a fitness element where they're like testing
Dude.
you on your ability to walk?
To not like
I
be
will
so
not.
out of shape that you
Golf is not like golf is not football or golf is not soccer, right? You're not.
Dude, you're not telling us anything we don't already.
But at the same time, standing out in the sun for 5 or 6 hours and like also being able to draw the focus to like work because like when you're swinging, every like small minuscule thing matters.
Right.
And like being able to draw that focus is a physical art. And Tiger Woods was the first one to bring like
Gotcha.
benching
Blackness
in.
into it.
Bring little.
Yes.
Bring a little bit of color into that
Yeah.
fucking white
I mean,
white sport.
really, it was only a matter of time until they realized that like. Literally, like, I feel like white people are the worst at every sport. Like,
Dude, that's
someone of
racist.
color is always gonna be better.
That's racist.
That's racist. I mean, dude, like, okay, like I might get into trouble for saying this, but like, the NBA, like, how many? What's the percentage of white people in the NBA, or in terms of like most professional sports?
Probably really low.
Really low. Like, I feel like
Yeah, I mean, no, like,
I feel like there's a clear trend there.
yeah.
Like, trying to not say that there is a trend is like,
It does depend on the sport.
yeah.
Weightlifting, for example, I believe is dominated by white.
But dude, there's also like no money in weightlifting.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, right.
Dude,
Unless you're like the mountain.
the mountain and
Yeah.
like you get on Game of Thrones and get to like fucking race
Is he
nuns or
a
whatever he does. Dude, he's like the
Weightlifter?
world's strongest man or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Mountain's like legit in real life.
Yeah. Did you see his water bottle commercial?
Dude, his water bottle commercials, top notch, dude. Buy his water.
Yeah, buy his water.
Third sponsor for our podcast,
The
Mountain Water.
Mountain water.
Yeah,
Wait, is
drink
that what
water.
it's called?
No,
yeah.
I wish.
I wish it was called. Dude, they should
Yeah.
hire us for branding. What are they doing? What are they doing? Mountain Water. Exactly.
Ugh.
But yeah, dude. Yeah, there's a correlation there, man. And people are denying. Like, if you want to deny it, you go ahead and deny it, but it's there.
It's like climate change deniers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so I go on those Facebook posts, and one of the most fun things and most depressing things that I do is read Facebook comments.
Facebook
Dude,
comments.
it's an unhealthy addiction.
Unhealthy addiction to read Facebook comments. We
I
will
do
read
too.
YouTube comments.
We
Feel
will
free to
read-
leave us a comment.
Please.
Leave us a comment.
Please
I
comment.
love reading them.
Yeah. YouTube, yes.
Dude,
Facebook,
he's
no.
the biggest fan,
Yeah.
so.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you think about Facebook comments? Why? Why do you hate them?
So,
Do you not like people's opinions, dude? What are you, some sort of fascist?
I would like to think that in all respects of my life, I'm a champion of the people.
Yeah,
Then I meet these people that I champion.
Dude,
This guy.
here's my question.
What's up?
Would you? Okay.
So
Would you?
rather?
No, it's not a would you rather, but it's just a would you question.
Uh-huh.
If every decision in your life, you could pick the people, but it had to be voted on by 100 people. Every decision in your life.
How big of a decision?
Any decision. Any decision in your life is voted on by 100 people. And you get, let's say, $1 million.
Okay,
$1 million,
Once.
but once. But every decision that you make is voted on by 100 people.
It's voted on by 100 people.
So you decide, you wake up, do you want to go take a shower or not? Or people have to vote on that?
We'll vote on that.
If you want to decide what to eat for food, other people have to vote
How
on
long
that.
does
Let's
it
build
take
this.
these people
Let's build
to-
this out. I'm totally down for this.
And he's like, I'll pay you $1 million.
No, forget the $1 million. I want 5 volunteers.
5
on the crowd. We will build you a web application. It'll have 100 people deciding your not every life decision because that could be cumbersome. I understand you have things to do, but perhaps pick 10 mundane tasks that you want automated. We'll automate it with you, not through some AI software. Yeah.
People powered.
People centric.
People powered, dude.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna
at
Science and Garbo.
Science and Garbo.
Yeah, I had to throw the name out there because he forgot. But yeah, it's fine. It's
Our
fine.
biggest fan.
Our biggest fan
Yeah,
forgot the
yeah,
name.
Sure.
But yeah, Caroline, would you do it?
I mean, like, how long does it take these people to make these decisions?
Really quick. It's almost
Oh, they're
instant.
fast?
They're really fast.
Dude, yeah, sure. Of course.
So you would never make another decision in your life on your own,
Yeah, it's
but
fine.
rather have 100
I'm sure
people
100
decide
people
for
know
you.
better than I do.
Are you fucking serious? Oh my god, dude, this is like.
You know what would be interesting?
What about like free will?
We're
Do you
like
not,
totally ready to
like-
give it up.
Oh,
It's
you're
like,
still
no,
one. You're
no.
still part of that audience that thinks that we have free will.
Oh,
yeah,
this is
dude.
fascinating.
I feel like yeah.
All right, let's discuss this.
Let's
Free
discuss this.
will
Free will.
versus determinism.
Is that real? Free will? Do you think?
Dude, no.
I think there's a universe that exists where I have free will.
Is that this universe?
Whoa!
Dude, I'm wearing the Rick and Morty T-shirt. Is that this universe?
All right. I mean, all right. So reasons that there's probably not free will.
Why would anything nice happen to me?
Dude, depressing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. There you
That's
go.
it. That's the
There you
reason
go.
right there. No, dude. I feel like there is free will because if I wanted to go out and like take a dump in the garden, I could do that.
But you wouldn't.
I wouldn't because I don't
You
want
think
to.
you could do it?
That's.
Yeah, this is exactly your
Dude,
point.
I've totally done that in India though. Cause, dude, so
Hey,
basically
guys,
India.
Duke, if you come to the Maryland Games, don't.
What's
But
that about?
What? Yeah, that's like some code.
Yeah, that was like a weird code there.
that,
We were talking about
so
Indian.
it's like a thing where like Maryland pees on the Duke's cars.
Oh, I did not know that was a thing.
Is that a
Dude, we've been
thing?
here 4 years.
Oh, we almost had Kareem on. He went to Duke.
Yeah,
This
he
guy
went to Duke.
who went to
This
Duke
guy went to
Really?
Duke.
almost was on this show.
But then we told him scrap
And then
that.
we're like, fuck
Ryan's
you.
coming in. He's flying in, so we gotta get
Fly
him on.
him in.
We're flying him in into Morocco. So we
All
have
the way to Morocco.
All the way to Morocco. Wow. That's
Dude,
incredible.
if we air this podcast and Morocco's not on the background, I'm gonna be so fucking disappointed.
Yeah, that's gonna be really awkward for our viewers. We'll have to bleep out every time.
Every time we say Morocco, we're just gonna be like, our couch.
It should be like that voice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like our couch. We love our couch.
The weather at
Our couch.
is great.
So great that we flew to our couch. This is really fun.
I feel like that would
saying
almost
things
be
like this.
better.
Dude, that's what we should improve. We're gonna do that
We're
instead.
just gonna do that.
Sorry, back
Okay,
to
that's
our
gonna take-
green couch.
That's gonna take way too much effort. I'm not gonna scour
none of
through this
this.
video. And edit
It's
it.
fine, it's
Are
fine.
you
No one's
kidding me?
watching it anyways.
There's no editing in this audience.
They know we don't edit.
Yeah.
That's what they come here for. If they wanted editing, they could go to fucking NPR.
Yeah, dude, that fucking hippie
Fucking
trash, dude.
NPR, you
that
might
liberal
call-
garbage, that swill.
You know why it's called NPR? Because they edited out of the rest of the letters.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait,
you're
guys,
like-
random fact. I just found out that Kirkland vodka is made in the same factory, or whatever thing it's called, as Grey Goose.
Knew
Grey
it.
Goose?
Could've called
How
it.
did you know? How did you find this out just now?
Yeah.
Like
I-
sitting
Right
on
now.
the
On the most
Just downloaded
reliable
that
of sources,
What is the source?
a friend told me.
Okay.
Is this your imaginary friend, Ryan? The one who
No.
speaks to you in your head?
No.
It's fine. We don't have to talk about that on the podcast.
Dude, would you have a sexual relationship with an imaginary friend?
Have you not? You're missing out.
Dude, I have not, but like, I feel like that would be wild.
What if you have multiple personality disorder, and they were like two personalities were into each other?
Wait, but how would they ever interact? Because you can't have them
Two
both
eyes at
present
once.
at the same time.
Maybe they're in a state of eternal loss because they feel empty inside when one of them's there.
If you could have them both present at the same time, I feel like that would be literally the best situation you could
But
possibly
people
have.
with
You're
personality
like
multiple.
in love with yourself.
Yeah.
Or like,
That's like you on a daily basis.
yeah, that's basically we actually have the best situation. I have
Look
multiple
at that girl. She has
personalities.
such nice hair.
And they're like,
Yeah, exactly. Literally, it's her hair. Like, literally, that's her, like, every day.
Oh my gosh.
I was telling him about that, and he was like, because he was complimenting himself. What were you saying? You're saying something about your hair. I don't know, but he was complimenting himself indirectly the same way I do. So this is why we like each other. We're just
Yeah,
complimenting.
you guys will rub off on each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's-
Look, I
We
know
like this, we
you
both
might
do
not
the
like
same
this,
thing, yeah.
but this is the pinnacle of the male physique.
Really?
This right here.
This right here.
This right
You
here.
may not like it.
This
You
body
might not
right
like
there. Yeah, that's it. That's the pinnacle, guys. Let's stop.
Body by
Evo-
coconut.
evolution. What is that? What was that? What's coconut
I
oil?
don't know, you know?
That's- yeah,
Please,
that's-
please go into that.
No.
What is going on
Dude,
here?
he's got a
Coconut oil
he
fetish?
he's got a coconut oil fetish.
I'm Malayali. That's what we do.
I don't
that's
know.
how
I'm
you
just
do. That's true. No.
he just rubs it all over himself. It was a little weird at first, but
Coconut oil? Dude,
yeah,
that's-
him just rubbing coconut
Rubbing
oil all over
coconut
himself.
You know what Desi people have an issue with? Dandruff. You know what solves dandruff? Coconut oil.
Do we have an issue with dandruff?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Like a lot of Desi people have like dandruff. It's not an issue. Like of all the like medical
It's
problems
like I
that
can
have,
talk
like,
about
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I feel like when I have one of
Tumors.
those commercials, it's like a medical. If you were a loved one.
Your loved ones are suffering from Indianitis. Being Indian.
being in
Get rid of it. Get
coconut
rid of
oil
it.
like solves your problems.
Yeah,
right?
dude, you're just
Yeah.
not Indian anymore. You just fucking wipe yourself all over with coconut oil. You come out as a fucking white baby, right?
Oh my god.
Oh
I'm ready for yoga.
Oh my god, dude. Fucking dude. That's something I hate about America, dude.
What?
Like, literally the hijacking of yoga.
Really?
I fucking
Oh,
hate
oh,
that
okay.
shit, dude.
So, okay. This is an interesting question. I'm gonna turn this Berkeley shit back on you.
Yeah, okay,
So
go for it.
is yoga like the way it's done in the U.S. cultural appropriation?
I don't fucking know what even that means.
Alright,
dude.
alright,
What is
it's
that
too many
word?
words.
Like, no, dude. I feel
But-
like cultural appropriation is this term that's just thrown around, dude. Dude, if you like something, fucking do it. But then, like, yeah, I'm all about your freedom to do it and all that shit. But don't be like, don't be all like high and mighty about it, you know? Oh, I do yoga. I'm so fuck you, dude. Fuck you and your garbage. All right, your chakras are open. Big fucking deal, dude.
So I used to do yoga quite frequently when I was in high school.
Dude, yoga's great.
Yoga's great, but
I do yoga
I did
all
it
the
at my temple.
Yeah.
So it was a very different experience
Yeah.
from like doing it like
Hot yoga in a fucking sauna with like girls in yoga pants, dude.
Yeah. No.
Maybe that's a little bit different.
Li-
You have a rock hard erection as you're going down for
Oh
the
my
sun
gosh.
pose.
Oh man.
Right? Yeah, maybe that's not happening.
Okay, so to be fair, I've gone to yoga classes with a very good friend of mine who is a yoga teacher.
Right.
I still go every once in a while.
Right.
Jenny, hi.
She's not watching. No one named Jenny is watching an hour in. Like literally, like an hour in.
And I will say that sure, there is a attractive both female and male audience at yoga classes. I'm too struggling with the yoga classes to even give a shit about
Yeah,
that.
that's true. That's true. That is definitely true.
But so yoga is not in of itself a thing. Like that's not the end thing.
Oh,
I
yeah,
should say.
dude.
It's the meditation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
for
have
sure.
your
It's like getting your body ready for a state of meditation.
exactly, and that's why yoga was like invented.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
like at temple, the point was that you would do like an hour yoga, and then it would then transition into meditation, and that's really where both are like important, but like you
Yeah.
lose that aspect in like
Hot yoga, hot sauna yoga,
yeah.
wear only one layer of clothing that becomes completely see-through.
That's a very
It's
different
part of the
experience
experience.
that I have, and I'm not like.
Dude, now
You're
you
like-
see what
you're like-
American yoga is all
You're
about.
like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to go to this yoga that she's talking about.
Yeah, like shit.
I feel like that's what yoga in America is.
University of Maryland did not have this.
Hot
This is a
sauna yoga,
disservice.
dude. You gotta go to hot
Yeah,
sauna
she's
yoga.
gonna-
It's all about
Man,
it.
if I
West
knew this,
Coast.
I would have studied better. Like, shit.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Well,
Alright, I
yeah,
guess
we're
that's
gonna, we're gonna fucking wrap it
that's
up.
a wrap.
Oh, dude, what is
It's a
going
wrap.
on in that fucking painting, dude?
Dude, I feel like she's having an orgasm.
What the fuck? Like in a crowd, we're watching this painting. So we got a.
Let's describe it for our viewers.
So on my TV, I got like a fucking Chromecast. So the TV is right behind the camera, so we're literally watching TV. And there's this fucking painting of like 5 dudes, like
They're all-
surrounding a lady in like a dress. This lady is like fucking orgasming.
I'll do the face for you. Hold on.
Wow. Wow.
Ryan's never seen that face.
Alright, and that's a wrap. We'll see you next week. We're gonna get some Garbo over here.
Let's go.
Alright, guys.
Let's
That's it. That was the episode
Let's
of
go.
Garbo.
See, we told you we had no